All right, I am live. So, not sure if anybody's going to come in here because I didn't announce it. I'm just sitting here wanting to record and I decided to hit the go live button. So, that's what that's what we are doing. So, if anybody's jumping in, I'll acknowledge you. Can't say the word. Um when I see you pop in. So, I just want to cover a few things. Make sure my mic is sounding right. Check, check. Sounds like, is it loud enough? Yeah. Check, 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 check. Think we're good. So, anywho, I just wanted to jump in here really quickly and do some recording. I didn't feel like recording a show and then having to do edits and put it out and all that stuff. So, I decided to just go live. I'm on Twitch and I'm on YouTube. And feel free to comment if you feel inclined. Also, might have some bots in the comments. That happens from time to time. So it is what it is. But I'm trying to get my page right here. Hold on. There we go. And I was going to do something before I started, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and get started. Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? It's your girl Jay, and it's time for another edition of Jay's Quick Three live. I'm just doing a live stream so I can put it on YouTube. I usually, not very often, but I have a Twitch page. So from time to time, I'll go live there just to get my face out there, maybe get some followers and grow my podcast on that side of things. Haven't really gone live on YouTube, I don't think, outside of podcast happy hour. So just saying if anyone is breezing by and they happen to check this out. So before I get started with the topics, I do want to say, and let me see if I can share my page really quickly. All this is, I'm just doing this on the fly, guys. So if it seems a little discombobulated, it's because it is. Hold on, let me get to my page here. I'm gonna share my screen because I want you guys to go to my site. Boom, there we are. So you should be seeing that on the screen. Are you seeing that? Yes, you are. I'm gonna take myself out. All right. So that's my website. Go to my site. All my episodes are there. You can listen to them on this site or all these right here, all these other links to different streaming services. You can check them out there. Now, the site is jsquick3pod.com, JSquick, the number 3, pod.com. And if you're wondering what I'm looking at, my laptop is over here. So I'm looking at that as I'm trying to also look at the camera. But a couple of things on here. So, this little thing right here, buy me a coffee. I have it as buy me a mojito. If you would like to donate to my lovely podcast, if you are an avid listener and you normally listen, feel free to shout out to D Murph who supported me recently. Feel free to go ahead and buy me a mojito. I would love to be able there I have so many friends and so many other podcasts that I listen to that I would love to support their podcast, monetarily, but, your girl don't have a lot of money to spend on all her friends. So if you support me, that will allow me to not have to spend my money on things that I use for the show, and then I can actually use some things to support other creators and podcasters out there. So If you would like, go ahead and check out my website. What else is on here? I'll get off that. This right here, if you want to leave me a voicemail, you can feel free, leave me a message. If you want to email me or contact me, if you're interested in being a guest, you can register as a guest. But like I said, all my episodes are here. I even have a tab up here for videos. So anything that is on YouTube that I do, it shows up actually on this page as well. So you can either go to my YouTube, which is the J Spot Network on YouTube, or you can watch the videos there. So I think that's it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So this isn't really a topic, but hold on, there we go. This isn't really a topic, but everybody everybody that is talking about this. And I'm not sure if many people that listen to my show watch this show, but it's called Vanderpump Rules. And excuse me, I've been drinking a carbonated drink, but it's called Vanderpump Rules. And it's been the talk of everything. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole specifics of the show because it's been on for, I think, 10 years. I watch off and on. I know who some of the people on the show are, but I don't know all their backstories and all this other stuff. Pretty much it it this season, I'm just gonna say this season. And if you guys want to know about Vanderpump Rules, look it up. I think all the episodes are on Peacock. You could check them out, binge them if you want. But this season in particular was a hot season because one of the main, I don't want to call them characters, but whatever. One of the main people on there, the couple, is Ariana and a guy named Tom. Now, most people call him by his last name because his best friend, who's also on the show, is also named Tom. So to not so you would mix them up. They call them by their last name. So Sandoval is with Ariana and Tom Schwartz is with Katie. Well, was because now both of them are no longer together. But the big thing was Katie and Tom Schwartz were married. They got a divorce. So this season was just about them seeing if they could kind of have some kind of friendship after the divorce. But Tom and Ariana Sandoval and Ariana were still together. Here's the thing. Sandoval cheated on Ariana with her best friend Raquel. So cheating on a reality show, that's not anything really big. Most of the time, no one really cares, right? Because everyone has cheated on everybody. But this the reason this was so interesting, at least to me, is because they were filming while they were cheating, but no one knew. So news broke that there was an affair after they were done filming. So it was mid-season for us watching, but we didn't find out. I want to say it happened in March, and the season they just had the third part of the reunion just ended this week. So what is that? 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, they ended the season. So that was where we at? That was in May, and we found out in March. So pretty much now everyone is invested in watching the show, trying to figure out if you can see, like, little Easter eggs, because apparently no one knew that they were cheating, even though they have cameras around them 24/7. Um, somebody had to know, I don't know, maybe production, but none of the cast knew. So it was intriguing to watch the show to see, if we can find out or see anything, suspicious. And we did. It was a lot of cringy stuff. Um, the reunion has been eaten. Like they've been going in on both Sandoval and Raquel, as well as his best friend Schwartz, because most people feel like Schwartz probably knew because him and Tom are joined at the hip. They're in business together, they're best friends. And it's just very odd that he didn't know. He said he knew, but when he found out, it was much later than what we think. I think he knew from the beginning, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. But the thing is, so Raquel at the end of they kept like producers kept both like saying, okay, something really big is gonna happen at the end of the um third episode or the third part of this reunion, which they always do, right? Some kind of bombshell. And we think everyone's going to need a minute before they decide that they want to record again. And we haven't had anybody sign any contracts and things like that. I don't know what it is about me being on camera and my nose itching. It's allergies, but it might be just something that happens. So sorry, guys. It's just itching. I don't know why. But anyway, um, where was I at? Yeah, they were saying like some big thing was gonna happen, right? So everyone was speculating, oh, is this person knew before anybody else, or this person knew and they didn't tell, or Lisa Vanderpump, which is the lady that owns all the restaurants that they work at, or that's where it was that's where the show started. It was about a restaurant or two restaurants that Lisa Vanderpump owned, and it was following the lives of these people that worked there. But anyway, oh, Lisa knew the whole time, whatever. Right. Well, it comes to find out that um they shot the reunion, and what they said was after they shoot the show, I guess sometimes they call people back to add sound bites or do final interviews or whatever that they end up editing into the show. So since the news broke before the show ended, and I'm sure they were wrapped. Whatever reason, they called Raquel back to do Raquel didn't go back when everybody else went back to do the reshoots or the interviews or whatever, because I believe the news had broke by then, so she didn't show up. She didn't show up until after they were done taping the reunion, and the big bombshell was that, as we all knew, they had been messing around for much longer than what they originally said. So it was just this whole thing, and she's crying and breaking down, and she's saying, Tom told her, not really, she's throwing him on under the bus, but not really. She was just saying, like, we talked and we decided that we shouldn't say that this happened, or we shouldn't say that it happened before here this time because it's gonna look bad. And he didn't want to hurt Ariana, even though they're cheating. That's hurting her, but they didn't care about that. But everybody, some people are starting to feel bad for Raquel. So the only thing I have to say about that, I don't feel bad for Raquel. I hope she does get help because something is wrong there, mentally, because through most of the cheating that we can see, she was very, I mean, just acting like none of this stuff was happening. She was in Ariana's face talking about their relationship, like Ariana and Tom's relationship, asking her questions, seeming to be that good friend. She's hanging out with them, saying, "You're my people." She's picking fights with Katie. By the way, she also made out with Tom Schwartz in the middle of her having sex with Tom Sandoval. So that was also weird. It was just a whole weird situation. So I don't feel bad for her in that sense because I feel like there's no right way to cheat, right? Cheating is bad. But I can understand sometimes when you really like someone and you're infatuated and you think you're in love. And even if that person is in a situation that um you somehow you believe them. You believe what they're saying. You believe they're going to leave this person. You believe that they don't really love the person that they're with. It's just hard to break up. And you believe all the excuses they give you. You're just kind of going off the actions that they're with you at in that moment and not thinking about the other things. So I can see how that can happen. What I can't see is how she was in her face. Like if it were me, and it wouldn't be, but if it were me and I'm sleeping with my best friend's boyfriend, I'm not gonna be around the group just like nothing's happening. Like, I'm going to be like, "Girl, I'm busy. I can't show up right now." Like, I'm not gonna be a part of any group outings. I'm gonna, like, slowly pull away because I don't think I could literally be sleeping with my best friend's boyfriend and be in her face at the same time. Is that right there is heartless. So I don't feel bad for her at all because that's what she decided to do, and, I don't know. So, apparently, she's in a mental health, retreat facility or something like not retreat, what do you call resort, something like that, getting herself taken care of, so good for her. Maybe she gets the help that she needs, but something's not right with that girl, and apparently, Tom and her are no longer together anyway. My suspicion is that when she started telling all this stuff, because she said, "Tom didn't want me to say this, but I just can't hold it in any longer. I feel horrible lying like this." I'm pretty sure he probably broke up with her. Now, they may be still be messing around. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even care about these people and what they're doing outside of this one season. So whatever they're doing, much love to them, whatever. But I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that. Now that really wasn't a topic, but I made it a topic. So let me go ahead and get started with my real show. So let's go to the number three. Now, number three this week is about Janet Jackson's Together Again tour. Now, I have been known from time to time to make I'll do a special episode on concerts that I attend, and usually if I went with somebody, I'll record an episode with them and we talk about like everything we experienced and stuff like that. And usually it's for the first time, either it's my first time or it was their first time going to see whoever this was. So um I didn't do it for Janet just because this is my fifth time seeing Janet. I went with Jeremy. This is Jeremy and I's fifth because we've gone to every show together. So this is our fifth time going to the show. So I didn't really feel like it was needed to do a special, breakdown about her show. We kind of talked about it when we did I had an episode called It's a Janet Celebration, I think is the name of it, and we talked about some of our experiences at the shows, like going to see her in Vegas and the times that we've seen her here. So if you want like more information about our experiences or an experience at a Janet show outside of what I'm about to talk about now, you can probably go check out that episode. So, Janet's show. I mean, is I don't it's nothing more to say than she is just amazing. This lady is 56 years old. She's been performing since 1984, since I was a kid, 1984, and she's still out here touring. Still. She doesn't even have to. Like she's not doing it because of the money. She's a Jackson. She could, like I've said this before, she could have stopped everything after, I mean, really Rhythm Nation, maybe even Janet if she wanted to. Honestly, Control if she wanted to. The Jacksons have always had money, building off the fame of Jackson 5 and the Jacksons and Michael Jackson and stuff like that. And then they did different things. She's been an actress, Janet herself, since she was a kid. So they were never hurting for money. So it was never really about money. So she could have stopped making music years ago. So the fact that she is still almost, what is that, almost 40 years of performing, next year will be 40 years. Am I right? 84, 94, 2004, 14. Yeah, 40 years next year of her performing, if she's still performing next year. People are saying this might be her last tour. I think she's probably about ready to hang it up because, she has a young son and she's done it all. 40 years in the business, she's done it all. There's no need for her to continue to do this other than, her just wanting to do it. So I'm hearing this was probably going to be her last tour. Not really sure if that is true or not, but it was great. It was a great show. Now, over the years, we know that Janet shows, I would say in particular the Velvet Rope tour. and the All For You tour, Janet has known to be like super, super sexy in her at her concerts. I'm talking like midriffs. Like most of the time she was wearing midriffs. She never really showed her legs too much, but on the dance floor, on the stage, dancing is props, is all kind of stuff. These full out shows, right? Pulling people on stage, doing, the dirty dancing with them and stuff like that, being very suggestive. And then over the years, she got married. I believe, I don't want to speculate, but I believe he was Muslim. And so I don't know if she converted to that or whatever happened, but she became very covered up. And um ever since then, she's been gradually being a little bit more I don't want to call it sexy, whatever it is. Like she was super covered up for state of the world pre having her baby because she was still married. After she had the baby, she got a divorce. You can kind of see a little bit of things kind of just being more moderate. And now, I mean, I don't think she needs to do that. She doesn't need to show skin. A lot of people are complaining about that. I mean, the lady's 56 years old. That doesn't mean anything because people look at how Halle Berry looks. Look how Angela Bassett looks. So it's not about having that body, but I just think she doesn't probably feel like she needs to do that. So she doesn't. But anyway, that's besides the point. This show was a little bit more suggestive, kind of giving a nod to the old times. She didn't pull anybody up on stage, but she did kiss one of her dancers and they were rubbing and touching on each other, which was, like, oh my God, are we getting old school Janet back? I was shocked, but the show was amazing. Janet has so many songs. It's like, how do you pick which ones you're going to do? She always gives us the greatest hits. She's always going to give us Control, Pleasure Principle, Miss You Much. Um, I think she did do Escapade. She's going to give you That's the Way Love Goes again. She didn't do Throb this time, although she had like mini mixes in between, like not set changes, but kind of like mini intermissions where they would play like small mixes of her songs. But she didn't perform Throb, which she usually does because she allows her dancers to dance, like be showcased, but she didn't do that this time. Her dancers this time were all male. I think she had four. Was it four of them? Either four or five, but very small dance crew, not like concerts she's had in the past. But it's just great. It's just a great show. It was a little bit more stripped down. It's just her four or five dancers, and her music. And she had the crowd rocking. I mean, I'm hearing that she's breaking all these records for sold out shows or consecutive sold out shows 39 years later. Like, not a whole lot of people can say that. Now, people are going to throw out, well, how big are the venues, blah, blah, blah. She's not doing Taylor Swift numbers. And honestly, Taylor Swift and everybody else wish they had a 39-year career where they can still go somewhere and have sold out shows. And no knock to Taylor Swift. I'm just saying a lot of people try to throw those numbers at you and bring up their favorite artist. And I'm sure their artists also love Janet and also know what a big deal Janet is and what she has done for music. Oh, hold on, I got a comment. Oh, hey Jeremy. Jeremy said it was such a great show. Yes, she was doing that 1985 choreo. It was just great. But anyway, Janet's still doing her thing 39 years later. We were actually sitting next to a young lady. Well, I wasn't, Jeremy was sitting next to a young lady who was 30 years old. She had never been to a Janet concert before, and she said that I don't know if she surprised her mom, but she bought her mom tickets, so her and her mom came together. And she was just asking us all these questions like, what is it gonna be like? Is she really good? And blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I heard this is gonna be her last tour, so I don't know. You think she's gonna bring the energy and all this other stuff? By the end of that show, she was like She was amazed. She was just like, "Oh my god, this is one of the best shows I've ever been to. This was so great." So it was pretty cool to see someone, I wouldn't say that young, she's 30, but, you know, a new generation of fans, and I'm sure there's people that are younger than her that also love Janet, but for her to experience Janet for the first time and, enjoy that so much, it just made me happy to see. So that is it for my number 3. So let me get to my number 2 and let me have a little sip. All right, my number 2, another fave. TLC dropped their doc. I talked about this on my last episode. I released another It's a Celebration series episode, and this was for TLC. So TLC, who has been out since 92, well, 91 officially, they dropped their first single, but 92 is when the album came out. But they have also been in the business for a very long time. And even through the tragic loss of Left Eye, T-Boz, and Chili, are still out here touring and headlining shows. And actually, they will be here. Ooh, in 2 weeks? I'm thinking I'm trying to decide if I wanna get a ticket only because I think they're headlining this tour. I'm not sure if this is like, I don't know the name of this tour. I just looked it up and said, "When is TLC coming to my city?" And they're gonna be, um, on tour with In Vogue and I forgot who's the other person? In Vogue. Now I don't remember, and I don't feel like looking it up. But I was like, I wanna make sure that they're headlining and not just on the show. Because do I wanna pay a bunch of money for, close seats to have to sit through a bunch of people that I don't wanna see? Although I do love In Vogue, cannot like, if you wanna talk about some of the best girl groups ever, TLC is the biggest selling girl group, but In Vogue is one of the best groups, period, out there. Like, when they came out in the early 90s. Early 90s was just a great time for music, especially R&B, dance, techno. Like we were in a lot of genres running the charts. You had Whitney, you had Janet, you had TLC, In Vogue. It was just a plethora of people. Just I mean, Patty was still out there, Shaka was still out there. We were really, dominating, women, especially Black women were really dominating the charts and dominating, just music, SWV. I mean, I can keep going. I don't wanna leave anybody out, anybody's faves, but, just it was a nice time. But anyway, In Vogue is pretty cool. But I'm deciding if I wanna get these tickets because after seeing the doc, I've never seen TLC live as much as, that might be a surprise to people, but, I've never seen them live, and I kinda really want to now, so I'm deciding if I wanna go ahead and get these tickets. They're a little bit pricey. I'm already like, my live show, fund or my budget has is blown. Like, I've seen Janet this year already that I have tickets for. Janet, who I just saw, Paramore that I'm seeing next month. Oops, and, Beyonce. Y'all already know how much those tickets were. So I'm already seeing those 3, which is crazy in itself that I get to see those 3 in 1 calendar year. But on top of that, I saw which was just like a spur of the moment purchase, I went and saw Chloe, and I'm deciding if I wanna make another spur of the moment purchase and go to see, TLC, which I ain't got the budget for it, y'all. Like, I was just asking y'all earlier if y'all wanna support the show, help me pay for some of this lovely equipment that I've purchased over the course of this podcast. Like a little bit, every little bit helps. I'm not saying buy me a new camera or buy me a new laptop. Just any little bit helps support the show. So if I'm asking for that, I don't have a bunch of money to spend on live shows, but I might have to go ahead and make the sacrifice and, uh, and try to make that happen. But the doc was really, it was nostalgic. It was sad. It was emotional just because, you know, I am a super fan of TLC. I have been since 1992. And to like look back at all the old footage that they were showing, it just reminds me of those days when I was young, when I was uh 14, 15 years old, and just the time we were in. It just, you didn't have responsibilities and you didn't really understand or really care what was going on around you. You were just happy to be with your friends and listen to music and go to the movies and stuff like that. So it was a good time, and it was kinda emotional to look back and, kinda remember those things along with watching, clips of TLC and seeing when Left Eye was, still with us. So that was emotional, but they didn't really tell me anything that I didn't already know, but I kinda was expecting that. I kind of felt this was more for the new generation of TLC fans that maybe didn't know a lot of these things, and just a thing for us that have been there since day one. It was kind of just like a reminiscing of those times. So I thought it was cool how they took from different interviews and allowed Left Eye to narrate some of the docs. So each one of them were narrating different parts of the documentary. And so to hear Left Eye's voice there as well, it was seamless. It was kind of like she was there. So that was dope to see. Um I don't know. I just thought it was really good. They obviously talked about the start of TLC, how they got started. They talked about the whole bankruptcy situation. They talked about T-Boz having sickle cell. They talked about the issues that Chili had, finding out she was pregnant at first and trying to decide if she needed or if she wanted to have the baby. And a lot of people were saying, you can't have this baby. It's going to mess up your career. And she didn't feel like she had the support of Dallas, who was her boyfriend at the time. They also talked about the tension that Left Eye had with the group. They didn't really get into like any like solo stuff. T-Boz had some solo projects, some singles out. She did some work for some people on the face. She had also had parts. Well, she was in Belly, but they also did some acting things. They didn't talk about any of that. They didn't talk about Left Eye, going solo or anything like that. They did talk about, her album Supernova, which I have right here. Boom. Shout out to Sherelle for gifting me that. But, they didn't really go into anything in depth of them individually. It was just basically, and it was only what, an 2 hours, I believe. So it's hard to put, 20, almost 30 years of, actually 30 years of career into 2 hours. So hopefully I would love for them to do another one, maybe get more in depth about them individually and all that good stuff. But it was good. It was really good to see. And the things that they pointed out were things that I did expect them to talk about. Again, it wasn't anything new for me, but I still really, really, really enjoyed it. So if you haven't seen it, I believe you can watch it on Hulu. It's called TLC Forever. It's part of some summer series they're doing on Lifetime. I know Mary J either has a doc or some kind of uh, movie coming out about her life on there. Same thing with Keisha Cole. But yeah, TLC had this doc. I think you can also get it on iTunes, if I'm not mistaken. But check it out. It's called TLC Forever. It aired on Lifetime, so you may be able to find it if you have a way you can watch it on demand on Lifetime or check out Hulu. So that's that. Let me get rid of that. All right. Now, my third and final topic before I head out. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I got to do something real quick here. Mm, there we go. All right. So my last topic is, where are we? My number one for the week. Why don't British singers or rappers use their accent? Have y'all noticed that? Have y'all noticed Adele doesn't sing in an accent? Sam Smith doesn't sing in an accent. Jessie J. I don't know if many of you know who Nao is, one of my favorite artists. She doesn't sing in an accent. Is that not like I knew that, but it never really occurred to me. Amy Winehouse, Joss Stone, Duffy, like we can keep it going. Although I think Estelle, I can hear her accent sometimes in the way she sings. Georgia Smith, I can definitely hear her accent when she sings. But I've always wondered that, like, what is the deal with British artists not using their accent? Now, I'm going to tell you what brought this up. I'm going to let y'all hear something real quick. I was scrolling through the TikTok because that's what I do. And hold on, let me get out of here. And I saw this video, this little clip. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to let you guys listen to it because it got me to thinking. All right. Are we ready here? All right. Here we go.
Australia, right? She's a white Australian.
This is my real voice.
What do you mean?
It's just how I talk.
That's how you talk?
It is.
Why?
Because I'm Australian.
And she's rapping like a black woman from the south.
Hop out his new whip, fresh in some new shit. Damn, she is too thick. Who is this? Yeah, I'm his new bitch.
This is how Iggy Azalea talks. Hello, mate, I'm Iggy. And then when she raps, she does an impression of a black woman from the deep south. And they record that and they sell that. And everyone's okay about it. She does an impression.
So that was, I'm not sure who this person is, but it was a person talking about Iggy Azalea, which he said, you know, she is Australian. She has an all, and I said British because most of the people that I listen to are British, but anybody who has an accent, why do they lose their accent is the main question. I know I said British because honestly, those, like I said, those are the most popular ones that I know of. But why does anybody lose their accent? So Iggy, you heard her voice, sounds nothing like she raps. Now, when I first, and I never really, like, no shade to Iggy, I just never liked that. Like when I heard that she didn't sound like that, hearing Iggy Azalea rap, which I'm not a fan of rap anyway, but hearing her rap, I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then hearing what she sounds like when she's not rapping, when she's just using her regular voice, I was turned off by it. Now, why? Because I don't understand how, like, singing is one thing. There's a fly in here. Great. Singing is one thing, and I looked it up. I had Google. I said, "Hey Google, I need you to Let me know, why do British singers lose their accent when singing? Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a fly swatter because this fly flying around in here is getting on my nerves. Um, it said, I don't know if y'all hear that fly, but I'm about to turn my camera off and my mic off real quick and get this fly out of here in a second. But it says, the reason why people lose their accent when singing is isolation. It says also, this is not what I want to know. Why do anyone watching, hold please. I'm going to stop my cam real quick and get this fly out of here real fast. Hold on. Be right back. All right, y'all, I'm back. Sorry. I think this fly is still in here. I hate buzzing around me. All right. So getting back to what I was talking about, why do watching that video about Iggy Azalea and her rapping in one voice and talking in another voice made me question some of my favorite songs by mainly British artists. How do they lose their accent? So I was in the middle of Googling why they lose their accents while they're singing. So Google says in singing, syllables are lengthened, airflow is increased, articulation is less precise. Thus, we get a more generic, neutralized accent that happens to share features with American varieties of English. So I guess when they're singing, because it's so the syllables are being lengthened is what it says, that they lose their accent. So okay, that's one thing. I didn't get how rapping is talking, right? So how do you lose your accent when you're just talking? And it was very off-putting for an artist like Iggy Azalea, who is from Australia. That's the voice, or that's the accent or whatever she chose to use, which I don't even know where that's from. I don't know what part of the South that accent is. So I don't know. It just is off-putting. I just feel like, why can't you rap in your own accent? So it made me kind of look back and say, wait a minute, there are two rappers that I know that are Britain or from are British, and they don't rap with an accent. That is, and this might be a little bit old for some of you, Slick Rick and Monie Love. But I looked it up. Slick Rick moved to America when he was 8. He moved to the Bronx. So I can see how eventually when he started rapping, and also New York is the birthplace of hip hop, and he was one of the main the earlier artists, a part of that. But I can see how him growing up since 8 in the Bronx, it would give him more of a New York accent, and he might start to lose his regular accent. So when he's rapping with the people around, he would pick that up, and that's how he would rap. I can see that. He was 8. Monie Love came to America when she was 18, and she also moved. I don't think she moved to the Bronx. Brooklyn. I don't want to get it wrong because I know how y'all are about your boroughs. She moved to New York. I'm just gonna say New York. And when she was 18. But when she raps, her rap is very New Yorkish. So maybe again, when you're around your friends or wherever you are, your crew, and you're rapping and they're from New York, you pick up those words and that's how you rap. Iggy Azalea, she moved to America when she was 20 or something like that. Let me see. When did she move to America? She moved to America in 2006, shortly before she turned 16. And she was in Miami, and she eventually ended up in Atlanta. I still don't get why that's the accent. Like I don't know what it is. Maybe I will be honest, maybe because she's white. And I don't it doesn't feel good for her to have that accent if that's not her real accent. Now, if she grew up talking like that and that's just the way she is, then that's one thing, but that's clearly a different persona. And even Monie Love, although she's way older now, you can slightly hear her accent, but she's very New York. Like it's certain places where you go to live where you just pick up that accent. It just is the way it is. I just don't feel right about Iggy having that accent, and a lot of people these days call it a black accent, and it's okay. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I also just in the bigger scheme of things, I just it just was I was curious as to how people who sing or rap lose their accent, and it sounds like the definition or the explanation for the singing makes sense because you have in order to sing, you have to get a lot of breath in there. And so you may not be able to make the vowel or the words sound like you would if you were talking because you're singing and it's a different kind of tone and a different kind of way that your words are coming, whatever, however, the breath control and all that stuff, regardless, whatever, is different. But if you're rapping, you're talking. And I just didn't understand how you could talk with an accent, but not rap with an accent. I think she would have been dope just rapping in her Australian accent. I didn't see what the problem is. And honestly, now that I look at it, a lot of people, like I just named all those people, Jessie J, Sam Smith, Adele, Josh Stone, Duffy, Amy Winehouse, Neo, those artists, you can't tell that they have an accent when they're singing. You can tell with Georgia Smith. You can tell with Adele. Um, And then Caribbean artists, that's just the way that their music is. So even when Rihanna is singing. And that's another thing. Rihanna, when she's singing her normal songs, you can still hear her her accent. And I laugh at that because I don't know if y'all seen that Brisha Webb, that Brisha Webb clip that's going around with her doing impressions of Rihanna singing. Well, Rihanna is the way you say her name, but we call her Rihanna. Um, it's funny. Y'all should y'all. I'm not gonna look it up. I was gonna play it, but now I'm not. Um, but y'all should look it up. It's funny. But even Rihanna, when she's singing regular songs, still has her accents. I don't really know. I don't really know. I don't really know how true that is about the whole breath control and stuff like that. I've also heard that many British singers, the reason they sing the way that they do is because a lot of them are trained using old school soul music from America. So that's why Amy Winehouse sounded the way she sounded. That's the way Duffy sound the way she sound. That's the way Josh Stone. These are like older artists. Amy Winehouse, of course, has, since passed away. But they were trained and they listened to old school soul music from here, like Supremes, old school Patti LaBelle and the LaBelles, things like that. And that's kind of how they learned to sing. They emulated that, and then it just grew into where they are now. So I've also heard that, and that could be also a true thing. I'm not sure, but it's always kind of baffled me, but it just does not sit right. And it still doesn't sit right, even with an explanation, even if Moni Love has an accent but doesn't rap in her accent, and Slick Rick has an accent but doesn't rap in his accent. It still doesn't feel I don't like that Iggy Azalea has that accent, and I just don't. I just don't. I don't like the way she raps. I just don't. Whatever for whatever the reason is. So if you're listening to this, I don't know if I'm gonna put this out um on audio platforms, but of course this will be on YouTube, and this will be on Twitch for I think they keep it up for a few days or a week or something like that. So if you have an opinion or thoughts or whatever, feel free to comment below. Um, Let me know what you think about it. Maybe it doesn't bother you. It's odd to me that that's the of all the I don't know, of everything you could pick up from being in America, that's the accent that you choose to use. It's almost very, how do they call it? Caricature? Is that how you say that word? Stereotypical. I'm gonna say it like that. It seems very stereotypical that black scent, quote unquote black scent that she uses, and it just I don't really like it. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. So that is it on my topics. I don't know. Now, here's the thing, guys. I have a vibe of the week. Now, I can play the vibe of the week right now. If you're watching, you will see what it is. Maybe or you might be able to hear it. After this broadcast ends, YouTube is going to flag me and they're going to take the video down. I'm going to have to um what do you call it? Appeal or something to get the video back up. They'll put it back up. It's going to take a couple days because I may not feel like doing it today. But it's something really easy I can do to get the video back up. But Twitch does not allow me to play music. So I am going to log off of Twitch. So anybody that was watching me on Twitch, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to see if I can log off of just Twitch and still stay on YouTube to play my vibe of the week. And if I can't, then I'm just going to peace out to everybody. But let me see if it'll let me do it. You are live. Huh. Hold on, let me see. If it will let me do it. Okay, so I'm gonna see. Thank you for watching. See if I can log out right now. Did it work? It worked. Okay. Twitch is gone. All right, YouTubers, everyone that's out there that's watching me from YouTube, if you're watching me on YouTube. Here is now there's no video, but I'm also trying to see how well my like I'm supposed to have really good internet. So I'm trying to do something different with some videos on my actual YouTube page. So I'm also testing out my internet speed to see if anything skips or the quality of my video isn't good. So I'm going to play a piece of the song from YouTube just to see if the video quality drops or if it skips or anything like that. So hopefully you guys can hear it if I do it this way. So hold on, I'm gonna do this. And then I'm going to share my screen again. Boom. So Janelle Monae, my vibe of the week. Janelle Monae dropped her brand new album. It's called The Age of Pleasure. And I was listening to it today. I quite enjoy it. Like it's very how can I say? It has a Caribbean feel to it. It makes me feel like I'm on vacation, like I'm laying out on some resort on some Caribbean island. The wind is blowing. I'm right there on the beach. I'm having a drink. And that's how her music feels. I don't know if that's a good descriptor or not, but that's how her music feels to me. So this I'm gonna play this a little clip of it like I would if I was playing it on a show. And again, I'm just trying to test out the video quality. So what you're going to see is not a video. It is something she put on her YouTube, but it's literally just the cover of her her album, which she is topless, but they blurred it out. So I think I'm okay to show it without being in any violation. But I just wanted to test out the video quality if I decide to show more videos. But anyway, there's a song on her album called Phenomenal. It's featuring Doechii, another artist that I really like. And this song stood out. Again, if I find a song on a new album or a new project I'm listening to and I hit repeat, that's usually a good indicator that that's a song that I really, really like and I'm interested in continuing to check out. So my vibe of the week this week, and I only have one because I didn't feel like picking another one. Honestly, it was just going to be another one off of Janelle Monae's album because that's what I've been listening to today. But this is Phenomenal featuring Doechii, and it's by Janelle Monae. So here we go. All right, so that was hold on, let me get back to where I need to get back to. That was Janelle Monae with Phenomenal. That's a vibe, right? That's a smooth groove. I like it. I mean, the thing that I noticed on her album, and it's not on every song, but there are a good handful of songs that seamlessly flow into the next song. Now she does use, interludes to do that. So she'll play a song, and then that song flows into this small little interlude of music, and then it kinda changes up a little bit, and then that flows into the next song. Very reminiscent of, Beyonce's Renaissance. She didn't really have interludes that did that, she just had her songs that completely flowed into each other for a majority of her album. So I enjoyed that about Janelle Monae's, and I think it's something to that, to have your album songs on your album that flow into each other because it kind of I wouldn't say forces you to listen, but it's a seamless listen, and before you know it, you've listened to 3 or 4 songs without realizing that it's 3 or 4 different songs, if that makes sense. So you're more, I guess, in tune to the album itself and to the project that you're listening to when it's something like that, at least for me. I enjoy that. So again, I just wanted to jump on here real quick and do this. I just wanted to try this out because I'm testing. I mean, you don't know that, of course, you know that now. I'm testing out some things, my camera, internet connection, different um, avenues I'm taking, Twitch, YouTube, things like that. And I just did not want to do a regular recorded episode. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Those of you that were watching, those of you that commented, and those of you that will watch later, feel free to leave a comment down below. And I have my information here. I talked about this earlier. Feel free to go to my website, jsquick3pod.com, jsquick3pod.com. All my information is there. All my episodes are there. You can listen to more podcasts if you enjoyed this one. Feel free to check those out. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. If you want to check those out, go ahead and do that. And again, support me and the show by buying me a mojito. It is it's supposed to be called buy me a coffee, but I don't drink coffee. I do drink mojitos. So go ahead if you would like to support the show, do so by doing that. If you want to contact me, all my information is there. You can follow me on Instagram at jsquick3pod. You can follow me on Twitter if you like, jsquick3, although I'm not on there a whole bunch. But jsquick3pod on Twitter, I believe. jsquick3 normally, just jsquick3 on TikTok. I'm on Twitch. I forgot my Twitch name. I think it's Miss Boogie the Gamer because I was going to originally just play my Switch on Twitch, but I can't figure out how to hook it up. So I've been broadcasting some of my. I'll go live there every once in a while. I'm going to change the name to Podcaster. But anyway, all my information is scrolling below. But again, you can check out all that on my site. That is it. I'm out. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.